This kid has been destroyed at every school he's ever touched. 3 years of beatings, 3 years of running. And right now, Gil Su is sitting in the backseat of his parents' car, face buried in his phone, being shipped off to yet another school that's probably going to chew him up and spit him out. His dad watches him through the rearview mirror and sighs. You know that sigh, the one that says everything without saying anything. Gil Su catches it and hits him with the truth. You regret having me as a son, don't you? Just drops it casually, no pause. And here's the thing, the car goes silent. His mom tries to smooth things over, saying if he gets bullied again, he can just quit. She wants him to have a comfortable life. Our guy calls her a liar, says she's the one who begged his father to transfer him in the first place. Cold. But also, probably true. She doesn't respond. He goes back to his game. And then he loses, flashes 2 words, game over. He stares at it, doesn't move, and in that silence, something darker creeps in. He starts wondering if he should just end it all. Let that sink in. This isn't just some kid getting pushed around at school. This is a kid standing at the edge, staring down, thinking maybe the fall would hurt less than getting back up again. 3 years of pain will do that to a person. If you've ever felt like the world keeps hitting you and you've got nothing left to hit back with, you know exactly where his head is right now. The car keeps moving. His parents have no idea. Scene shifts. Our guy arrives at 6 Gate School and immediately starts praying for an earthquake. Actually praying, destroy this. Like, please, something destroy this building before I have to walk inside. That's the level of dread we're working with here. He walks in anyway, stands in front of the class. My name is Gil Su and I. And right there, mid-sentence, he freezes. Wishes time would just stop so nothing bad could happen. But then something weird occurs. The students start clapping, applauding, welcoming him, saying it's cool to have someone from the big city around. Gil Su is so confused he might actually malfunction. This has literally never happened to him. Not once. At every other school, introductions meant the beginning of the beatings. Here, people are nice. A guy named Dia walks up, throws an arm around him, and invites him to the store. Says he'll show him around. Gil Su goes along, still waiting for the trap, but nothing happens. They're just walking, talking, like friends. He even cracks a joke about another student's eyebrows looking like Rock Lee's. And you know what? The friend just laughs. No punch, no problem. For the first time in 3 years, Gil Su thinks maybe, just maybe, he could actually have a peaceful life here. Then he bumps into someone, spills their drink, and his whole body locks up. Here it comes, the moment he's been waiting for. He starts apologizing frantically, offering to clean it up, already bracing for the hit, but the guy just smiles, says it's fine, walks away. Gil Su stands there, stunned. The fear he carried through those doors, it starts to melt. Maybe he really can live a normal life here. Maybe this school is different. After class, Deal invites him to hang out at night. They walk through the city, and Gil Su notices they've been walking for a while. Asks where they're going. Deal just says there's a place every newcomer has to see. Something about it sounding forced makes Gil Su uneasy. Then Deal asks if he's ever done boxing, if he has any fighting experience. Gil Su laughs awkwardly. No. Deal tells him he'll need courage for what's coming, and that's when Gil Su notices the scars all over Deal's body. Scars he definitely didn't have before. Every memory comes flooding back. Every school, every hallway, every fist. He stops walking, says he needs to leave. But Deal grabs his shoulder, smiles, and says they're almost there. Just a quick look. What could go wrong? Our guy follows him because he doesn't know how to say no. 3 years of being bullied teaches you that. They arrive at a warehouse. Gil Su feels betrayed already. Deal opens the door and shouting, cheering. The sound of fists hitting flesh. Gil Su closes his eyes, expects the worst. But when he opens them, he's standing in front of an underground fighting arena. The place is packed with students. In the center of a ring, 2 fighters are going at it. One lands a spinning kick so clean it makes Gil Su flinch from the sidelines. The energy in the room is insane. Deal grins and says, "Welcome to the school's fight arena." And now, you're probably thinking the same thing our guy is. What the hell? From above the ring, a voice calls out. A man asks who the newcomer is. This is Jun Chung, the student body president. And when Gil Su looks up at him, the height difference is comical. Chung looks like he could bench press a car. How is this guy a student? Deal explains that Gil Su just transferred. Meanwhile, Rock Lee, the eyebrow guy, challenges Deal to a fight. Wants revenge for the earlier comment? Deal accepts without hesitation. Chung turns to Gil Su, welcomes him to the school, and then drops a bomb. He says there's no bullying here, only violence. But with rules. Gil Su's brain short-circuits. Chung explains, all fights happen inside the arena. That's the law. And inside this ring, everyone is equal. No status, no fear. Just fists. Gil Su says he can tell he's been bullied constantly and suggests he release some of that stress here. The rules are simple. Only 6th grade students can enter. Once you graduate, drop out, or get expelled, you're out forever. Fights are always one-on-one. No weapons, members of the guidance council act as referees, and the most important rule, violence outside the arena is forbidden. If you have a problem with someone, you settle it in the ring. That's it. No exceptions. Sounds civilized, right? Almost fair? Except right then, someone calls Gil Su's name. It's the kid from the cafeteria, the one whose drink got spilled, and he wants to fight. Wants compensation for the cleaning fee. Chung laughs and says, looks like Gil Su already has his first opponent. The referee raises his hand. The fight begins. Su looks at his opponent, a guy named Kangen, and every alarm in his body goes off. The students start whispering. Apparently Kangen is famous. Not for being good, for being brutal. Kangen asks if Gil Su is going to make the first move. Says he's giving him a chance since it's his first fight. But Gil Su can't move. 3 years of survival instincts are screaming at him to run. His legs won't work, his arms won't rise. He's frozen. And then Kangen charges. Gil Su starts shaking. Tears fill his eyes. The crowd's excitement fades into something else. Disgust. Because what happens next isn't a fight. Gil Su vomits on himself, on the floor, collapses in a heap of fear, humiliation, and defeat. The students burst into laughter. Some look away in secondhand embarrassment. Kangen just stands there, asking for a towel. Our guy, covered in his own shame, mutters, I've never thrown a punch in my life. I can't do this. And that's it. His first fight ends before it even starts. Later, in the school bathroom, Gil Su sits inside a stall listening to students outside mock him. They're calling it the most embarrassing thing they've ever seen, and he just sits there, realizing the truth. This isn't a normal school. It never was. And even though Chung told him to have fun, he knows he never will. But there's one thing different now. He can't be bullied outside the arena, so all he has to do is survive, push through, avoid fights, keep his head down. The scene shifts. Chung is doing push-ups, with 2 entire students sitting on his back. He reaches 999, struggles, and then hits 1,000. This man is built different. Certified monster. Our guy watches Chung hit that 1,000th push-up with 2 whole students sitting on his back, and his brain just breaks a little. He mutters out loud, how is this guy a high school student? Chung catches him staring and asks if he has something to say. Gil Su hesitates, but then it all comes out. He asks about the arena. Says he can't fight. Doesn't want to fight, doesn't hate anyone, doesn't see the fun in it, and honestly, he just wants to be left alone. The students around them go silent, surprised, because nobody says no to the arena. Chung asks why, points out that Gil Su didn't even get hurt in his last fight, you know, the one where he vomited on himself and curled into a ball. Gil Su lowers his head and admits the truth. He has no confidence. Never has. And here's where it gets dark. Chung puts a hand on Gil Su's shoulder, smiles, and says that if Gil Su won't participate in the arena, then he can beat him up as much as he wants now. Gil Su doesn't understand. Chung clarifies. As student body president, he's announcing that Gil Su is no longer protected by the arena rules. Outside the ring, fair game. Let that sink in. The one place where violence had rules, the one thing keeping the chaos in check, and our guy just opted out of his own protection. School life continues. Gil Su walks through the halls waiting for the other shoe to drop, and drop it does. Kangen shows up, grins, says he heard about Gil Su's little decision. Without warning, he grabs Gil Su and slams his face into a desk. Laughs while doing it, says he's been needing a slave, and now Gil Su belongs to him. The other students? They don't even look up. They've seen this before. They know better than to get involved. In the back of the classroom, Gil Su gets beaten, punched in the face, mocked. One of Kangen's friends laughs and says it makes total sense that Gil Su transferred because of bullying. He's such a coward. They order him to come to their class during every break. Gil Su cries, right there, while the punches keep coming. And you realize this kid's been here before. Different school, same nightmare. He really thought he'd escaped. He thought maybe this place would be different. It wasn't. The scene shifts. We're in the teacher's office now. Gil Su tells a teacher he's dropping out. He explains that he's been preparing for it. He'll just take the exam and get his diploma that way. His voice is flat, defeated. Softly, he apologizes to his family, says he's sorry for being such a useless son. 3 years of pain, 3 years of running, and this is how it ends, not with a fight, but with surrender. He leaves through the school gate, figures his school life is officially over, but Chung is standing there, waiting. He stares at him and asks one question, why aren't you fighting? Gil Su hesitates, then lowers his head and says Chung wouldn't understand. Someone obsessed with fighting could never get it. He admits his trauma, says the violence broke something in him, that he's tried everything and just wants to give up. Chung puts a hand on his shoulder again and says he's even more pathetic than he thought. Gil Su looks up, Confused, Chung starts walking toward him, asks who said he has to fight like a pro, says if Gil Su doesn't have teeth, he should use his gum. Tarj, if he doesn't have strength, he should use courage. That's what it really means to fight. 2. He grabs Gil Su by the collar, asks him directly, don't you even want to protect yourself? Gil Su starts crying, asking what he did wrong, what he ever did to deserve any of this. Chung doesn't comfort him. Instead, he asks if Gil Su thinks the outside world is sunshine and rainbows, says that if he keeps acting like this, he'll be a loser for the rest of his life. And then he walks away, leaves Gil Su standing there with those words ringing in his ears. Gil Su heads home, muttering that Chung would never understand because he's never been weak. He's tired, done, ready to give up. But then Kangen appears, blocking his path, grinning, says he heard Gil Su won't be coming to school anymore, laughs and asks how he could leave without saying goodbye. Adds that if Gil Su quits, who's going to be his punching bag? Ever since the arena was created, he hasn't had any slaves to vent on. And Gil Su is wrong if he thinks everything ends by quitting school. He orders Gil Su to follow. The scene cuts to a dark alley. The bullies surround Gil Su, beat him, kick him while he's on the ground. Gil Su lies there, feeling like he's about to die, just wishing they would stop. And then one of Kangen's crew, pulls out his phone, asks if the address he has is correct, reads Gil Su's home address out loud, says next time, they'll visit him at home. Gil Su's blood runs cold. Desperate, he stands up, demands to know what they plan to do at his house. But just laughs, orders him to stay still or he'll take a picture and send it to everyone. And something inside Gil Su snaps. He thinks about everything. Every school, every hallway, every fist. He really thought it was finally over, that he'd escaped this hell. But the moment he thought he was free, they dragged him right back in. He remembers Chung's words. Fighting isn't just about strength, and he realizes how much of a coward he's been for not even trying to protect himself. Grabs his face. Gil Su screams in pain. Mocks him, tells the others to hold him tighter, shouts, and then, through the pain, Gil Su shouts, "Why? What did I do wrong?" In one sudden move, he knocks Ha's phone to the ground. The screen cracks. Stares at the phone, shocked. Without thinking, Gil Su bites Ha's hand as hard as he can. Ha screams in pain. Gil Su mutters through clenched teeth, "Since I'm weak, I'll do whatever it takes to fight. Resist with everything I have." Ha punches him in the face, knocks him down. But Gil Su gets back up. Ha is stunned, mutters that he's gone crazy. Gil Su, panting, bleeding, looks him dead in the eyes and says, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have." He tells Ha that if he's gonna die here anyway, he'll take him down with him. Ha laughs nervously, says even a cornered rat will bite, asks if Gil Su is ready to keep going. The other two bullies move in, but Gil Su doesn't back down. He grabs a handful of dirt from the ground and throws it in their eyes, screams at them to get lost. They stumble back. Ha realizes Gil Su grabbed the dirt when he planned it. Furious, Ha yells at the others to chase him. Gil Su runs. No direction, no plan, just survival. And somehow, his feet lead him back to the fight arena. The door opens. Chung looks surprised to see him, but Gil Su walks in with something different in his eyes now. Determination. Declares, "I'm going to do this." The students inside are shocked. The bullies who were chasing him stop at the door. Chung watches, smiles, says Gil Su is more interesting than he imagined. Our guy announces he wants to enter the fight arena. One of Ha's friends, a guy named Park Yango, steps forward and says he'll be Gil Su's opponent. The fight begins, and it goes exactly how you'd expect. Gil Su takes a punch to the face, a knee to the stomach, another punch. Kangen asks if he really thought he could do anything and keeps hitting him. Kicks him in the face, sends him sprawling. The students comment on how brutal it is, wonder if Gil Su broke something. But Gil Su gets up. Kangen is surprised, tells him to stop pretending to be tough, warns him he might actually end up dead. Gil Su says this doesn't even compare to the pain he's already faced, and then he throws a punch, connects, knocks Kangen down. The students react in shock, call him Vomit Boy, and say he's actually got some tricks. Kangen admits he was caught off guard. Gil Su screams and goes for another punch but gets hit first. Kangen mocks his slow punches, and then Gil Su remembers Chung's words, "Use your gums if you don't have teeth." He headbutts Kangen, makes his nose bleed. Crowd goes crazy. Students start cheering. They're chanting his name. And for the first time in his life, Gil Su hears people rooting for him. Not mocking him, not laughing, cheering. Clenches his teeth, charges at Kangen, throws everything he has. Gets caught by an uppercut. His consciousness fades. He passes out. Kangen is declared the winner. But here's the thing. Gil Su lost the fight, technically. But something else happened in that ring. For the first time ever, He stood up. He fought back. He landed hits, and the crowd saw it. That night, Gil Su wakes up, sore everywhere, but proud. He remembers he managed to land a hit, then immediately starts analyzing what he could have done better. If only he'd stayed calm. If only he were stronger. Chung appears beside him, asks if his mind is clearer now. Gil Su looks around. They're alone. He asks if Chung came for him. Chung says as president, it's his duty to make sure no one gets seriously hurt. The arena exists to protect students. But what happened today was an exception, and since Gil Su is about to leave school, he won't be allowed to enter again. Chung starts walking away, but Gil Su stops him. What should I do? Chung frowns. Confused, Gil Su declares he won't quit school anymore, begs Chung to tell him how to get stronger. He explains how it all started, a flying slipper that accidentally hit someone. At first it seemed like nothing, then the students exchanged looks and started beating him, demanding money, saying people like him needed to be beaten, kicking him mercilessly. That's how 3 years of hell began. One accident, one moment, and his entire life changed. But now, he's not giving up. Chung smiles, says it's also his responsibility as president to train the weak. Then, without warning, he punches Gil Su in the stomach, screams in pain, spits blood. Chung comments that it must hurt, but warns him this is just the beginning. He promises to make Gil Su strong enough to withstand his punches. And just like that, the real training begins. The next morning, Gil Su wakes up and immediately regrets every decision he's ever made. His stomach feels like it got hit by a truck. Because it basically did that truck being Chung's fist, he drags himself to school wondering how strong Chung actually is. The guy told him to show up during breaks for training. Gil Su isn't sure if training is the right word for what's about to happen to him, but he changed his mind about quitting, so here he is. Deal spots him in the hallway, surprised, asks if he wasn't supposed to be dropping out. Gil Su says he changed his mind. Deal comments that he must really like the arena, jokes that he's got guts to keep going after everything, and then Kangen appears. He calls Gil Su a punching bag, says he didn't expect to see him back, asks if he wants revenge but warns him to know his place or he might actually end up dead next time. They walk in opposite directions. Deal notices Gil Su's hands are shaking, but it's not fear this time, it's rage. Our guy makes a decision right there. He's going to become strong enough to never lose to bastards like Kangen again, no matter what it takes. Rooftop, training begins. And by training, I mean Chung beats the absolute hell out of him. Left hook to the face, kick that sends him flying, punch to the stomach. Gil Su protests, asking how this can possibly be called training. He squeezes his eyes shut as another hit lands. Chung tells him to keep his eyes open, follow the fists, and he's forbidden from fighting in the arena until training is complete. Days pass, the beatings continue. Gil Su takes hit after hit, wondering if this method will actually make him stronger or just kill him faster. Meanwhile, down in the arena, Kangen is on a rampage. He's been ruthless since his fight with Gil Su, destroying every opponent, his ego is bruised, and everyone knows it. The students joke that his weaknesses are headbutts and vomit, and Kangen does not find it funny. Challenges anyone to fight him if they think he has a weakness. His opponent immediately apologizes and backs off. Classic. Kangen storms through the crowd, asks his friends if they've seen Gil Su today. They say no, he hasn't been showing up during breaks. Been avoiding the arena entirely. Kangen has a realization, thinks about Chung, and smiles. He's got an idea. That night, Gil Su runs laps on the track, exhausted, body screaming at him to stop. He remembers all the beatings and wonders if this training will actually work. Then a motorcycle brushes against his shoulder. The rider stops, complains that Gil Su scratched his bike, gets off and demands compensation for repairs. Gil Su points out that the rider hit him, but the guy grabs his hair, calls him a loser, and punches him. His friends laugh, claiming they saw everything. Gil Su ran right into the bike. And here's where something interesting happens. Gil Su realizes he isn't scared. This guy is threatening him, putting on brass knuckles, and Gil Su feels nothing. No fear, no panic. He knocks the guy's hand away and punches him in the face with his left hand, asks why he should pay when he isn't even scared of him. The guy grabs his wrist, mocks him, asks if that was supposed to be a punch. Gil Su realizes his hit had no effect. He's still weak. So what does our guy do? He starts spinning his arms wildly, windmill style, shouting that he never actually learned how to fight, only how to take a beating. The attackers burst out laughing. One says he looks like a windmill, another says he's trying to swim on land. The guy with the brass knuckles grins, orders his friends to hold Gil Su, says after this beating, he'll learn how to behave. Tells him to clench his teeth, but before the punch can land, someone appears out of nowhere and knees the guy in the face. Gil Su looks up in shock. It's Deal. Deal laughs when he realizes who he just saved. One of the thugs charges at him, but Deal dodges and counters with a left hook. Another comes at him with a wooden plank. Deal blocks it with his arm and drops him with another punch. The girl who was with them screams, complains that they left her alone. Gil Su watches Deal fight, genuinely impressed. He thought Deal was just a regular guy. Turns out, not even close. The girl threatens Deal, says they're part of the strongest first years at Dang High School. Sandel, one of Deal's friends, tells her to give up. Says it doesn't matter if they call more people, reveals he's from 6 Gates High, points out that messing with the wrong school has consequences. The thugs immediately jump on their bikes and flee. Deal clicks his tongue, calls them idiots, then turns to Gil Su and asks how he got involved with them. Later, Gil Su explains about his special training with Chung. Deal is surprised, comments that Gil Su must be really serious about fighting. Gil Su confirms but admits he's still too weak. He was just training his endurance when he got attacked. Deal laughs about the windmill punching, says it was quite a spectacle, praises his courage for not showing fear, but warns that he still doesn't have the strength to fight multiple people. Gil Su asks why the thugs ran when they found out Deal was from 6 Gates. Deal laughs, says it's obvious that school is famous. Gil Su asks why, and Deal explains something important. 6 Gates has a long history of school violence. In the past, it was like a jungle, complete chaos. Things got so bad that it nearly destroyed the school. But then Chung conquered everything, built the arena with his own rules. Over time, the school became organized. The arena gave students a way to release anger without destroying each other in the hallways. But here's the catch. If the arena disappears, or if Chung does, the rules lose all meaning. And there are still people who want things to go back to the old ways. Gil Su starts to understand the arena isn't just a fight club. It's the only thing keeping the school from tearing itself apart. Cut to the arena. A student hits the ground, defeated. Yongo mocks him, asks if that's all he's got, points at another person and orders him into the ring. Says he chose him just because he doesn't like his face. The student hesitates. Yongo asks if he's refusing. Kangen's group laughs, comments that Yongo is on fire today. Kangen stands up, says the students need to learn their place, announces he wants to have some fun too. He points at a random student who was talking about him, orders him into the ring immediately. The student is shocked, asks why, since they don't even know each other. Kangen replies he doesn't need a reason, just got in a bad mood looking at him, grabs him by the collar and asks if he plans to refuse the challenge and end up like Gil Su. Chung enters the arena, visibly irritated, stares at Kangen and asks what's going on. Kangen plays innocent, says he just issued a fight request. There was a misunderstanding. Challenges Chung, asks if there's a problem, pointing out he didn't break any rules. See, here's what Kangen figured out. Gil Su exposed the loophole. The arena rules say anyone can be challenged, so now Kangen's group is forcing the weakest students to fight, using Gil Su as an example of what happens if you refuse. It's technically within the rules, and there's nothing Chung can do about it. Back on the rooftop, training continues. Gil Su is actually blocking hits now. He tells Chung he's not as scared as before, getting used to the punches. He tries to counterattack, but Chung dodges. Gil Su says if he wants to win, he needs to land a punch. Keeps attacking wildly. Chung slaps him, tells him to shut up, says it hurt more than usual. Then, he says something interesting. If Gil Su learns how to really fight, he could even win a fight in the game room at the arcade. Gil Su is confused, asks why they're going to some old arcade. They arrive. Gil Su opens the door and sees a punching machine. Some people might recognize it as Bob. Chung teaches him proper form. Raise fist to chin, tuck chin in, feet shoulder width apart, slightly on toes. For the jab, throw a light punch. For the straight, rotate hips, shoulders, and legs to maximize impact. Chung demonstrates punch sounds like a gunshot. Gil Su says it's his turn, throws an awkward jab, then a straight, says he's getting the hang of it. Looks at the score, it hasn't changed. Chung explains the machine is broken unless the punch has real impact, it won't register. Gil Su needs to hit hard enough to actually damage an opponent. Tells Gil Su to find his own way of fighting, and not to show his face until he achieves the highest score. Meanwhile, back at school, trouble continues. Yongo accidentally bumps into Rock Deal's friend and breaks his phone. Calls it an accident, not school violence. Rock is too scared to report it. In the cafeteria, Gil Su is eating frantically, starving from training. Yongo appears, dumps food on Gil Su's head, laughs and says he missed him. He keeps slapping Gil Su's back, mocking him, asking if Gil Su feels the same way. Gil Su grabs Yongo's wrist. Yongo laughs, says he's learned to resist, calls him cute. Gil Su is furious. But Chung banned him from the arena until training is complete. He has no choice but to hold back. Deal tells Yongo to shut up, says he's trying to eat, then throws his entire food tray at Yongo's face. Deal says you shouldn't bother a dog when it's eating. Tells Yongo he needs to know his place. Yongo asks if Deal has gone crazy. Deal laughs, says it's not school violence, his hand simply slipped. But hey, if Yongo wants to fight anyway, that's perfect. He'll teach him a lesson in the arena tonight. Later, Deal is washing his clothes while Gil Su thanks him for stepping in. Deal says he didn't do it for Gil Su. He's just tired of seeing people abuse the arena. Admits he hasn't been around much lately and didn't realize how bad things had gotten. But now, he can protect the arena by putting Yongo in his place. Gil Su asks why Deal cares so much about protecting the arena. Says if he's so strong, it shouldn't matter to him. Deal goes quiet, then reveals something. He went through a dark phase too. Just like Gil Su, flashback, we see a chubbier, timid version of Deal. Bullies are forcing him to drink something horrible urine mixed with other things. They're laughing, calling it pig drink. One of them holds his mouth open, forcing it down. And then a large hand grabs the bully, tells him to be nice to his friend. Someone saved Deal, handed him a flyer, asked if he wanted to try boxing as a way to lose weight. It was the owner of a boxing gym. After that, Deal tried boxing for the first time and became obsessed. We see him progressively losing weight, transforming, getting stronger. Eventually, he went back to the bullies, knocked them down. The same kids who tortured him tried to apologize, realizing they couldn't mess with him anymore. Deal learned something important that day. Even people who act like bullies are just weak inside. Gil Su is stunned. He had no idea Deal was ever bullied. Deal laughs it off, says the arena rules might be extreme, but he likes that people have the freedom to fight and choose their opponents. It gave him a chance to change his life. Tonight, he's going to defeat Yongo, and he wants Gil Su to watch. The arena, night falls. The two fighters face off. Yongo says he doesn't know where Deal got all this sudden courage. Deal asks if he came to talk or to fight, tells him to stop running his mouth and get started. Yongo smirks. Deal looks ready. The referee starts the match. Yongo opens with a jab. Deal blocks it, surprising him. Yongo throws more jabs, but Deal dodges them all easily. Deal retaliates with his own punches, landing clean shots. The spectators are shocked at Deal's speed. Yongo notes that Deal is faster than expected, wonders if he's purely a boxer. Deal starts pressing forward, backing Yongo up with precise jabs. Yongo counters with a heavy punch, claiming he's stronger, but Deal blocks it. Deal throws another jab. Yongo tries an uppercut, but it's a trap. Deal counters with his own uppercut. Yongo realizes he was tricked. Gil Su is amazed. Deal is dominating. Yongo hasn't landed a solid hit yet. The crowd starts murmuring, wondering if Deal was always this strong. Noting that Yongo might actually lose his undefeated record, Gil Su is shocked to learn Yongo is undefeated. Yongo throws a right overhand, misses, left hook, misses, another right, misses again. He's losing his composure. Frustrated that he can't land a single punch, Deal taunts him, laughs and asks if Yongo really thought those punches would land, explains that light punches need to connect before heavy ones can. Deal lands a straight punch, sends Yongo to his knees. He mocks him, says Yongo talks too much but can't back it up, tells him to stop bothering people and leave the arena. But Yongo looks over at Kangen, smiles, tells him not to worry, he's not done yet. Yongo admits Deal is better at boxing, but claims he'll fight fairly from now on. And then he raises his leg, adopts a Muay Thai stance, declares it's time for the real fight to begin. Deal recognizes the stance immediately. Muay Thai. Yongo's about to start throwing kicks, but Deal doesn't back off. He charges forward, head low, and lands 2 clean hits on Yongo before the kick can come out. Yongo grimaces in pain and throws a kick anyway. Deal blocks it with his leg. Yongo's confused. His kick connected with something that felt like a steel post. Deal creates distance. Yongo charges again, not willing to let up. He throws another kick. Deal raises his arm to block, and then we hear it, the sound of bone cracking. Su screams Deal's name. The entire arena goes silent as the sound echoes through the building. Deal's arm is fractured. Just from blocking, he backs away, clutching his arm. Yongo laughs, taunts him, asks if he's scared now, tells him to come at him like before. Deal realizes something is very wrong. Yongo's kicks are insanely powerful, way beyond the strength of his punches. Another hit like that could be dangerous. But while he's thinking, he gets punched in the face. Then another punch. And another. A full DBZ-style combo as Yongo unloads on him. Deal realizes his mistake. He's so focused on the kicks that he can't react to anything else. Yongo insults him, reminds him that he was the one who said not to ruin the arena, asks who he thinks he is to lecture anyone. A low kick connects. Deal hits the ground. He tries to get up, but can't. His body won't cooperate. Yongo stands over him, prepares a soccer-style kick aimed straight at Deal's head, says goodbye. The kick launches and stops. The referee blocked it with his shin. The impact sounds like metal hitting metal. This is June, and apparently his leg is made of actual steel. June says calmly that if your opponent can't fight anymore, going further is a foul. Yongo laughs it off, says they were just getting started, but he had fun for the first time in a while. He looks over at Gil Su, makes eye contact, and grins. Says maybe that's why some old faces are coming back. Tells Gil Su the arena will get even more fun, so he should come off. Later that night, Gil Su helps Deal walk, supports him as they move slowly down the street. Deal says the pain isn't the worst part. What really hurts is that he lost and boosted their egos in the process. Gil Su notes that Deal was winning at first. Everything changed when the kick started. Deal agrees. Says Yongo's kicks were way stronger than expected, but something felt off about that last kick. He can't figure out what. They arrive at Deal's place. Deal thanks Gil Su for helping and offers him water before he leaves. Gil Su declines, says he has something to do. Deal watches him run off into the night, wonders where he's headed at this hour. Scene cuts to a classroom. Kangin is looking at the ugliest pair of shoes you've ever seen, asks why they're there. One of his guys says their gang wanted to show appreciation. Kangin replies that he values talent over gratitude. They agree and promise to do their best. Yongo walks in, says he doubts Gil Su will show up at school today. Kangin stands, asks what he means. Yongo says it's probably time to beat him now. But Kangin puts a hand on Yongo's shoulder, says things have changed. He explains, by defeating Deal, they proved their strength. Everyone's scared now. Touching Gil Su at this point would only ruin their reputation, make them look petty. One of the guys asks about the next plan, suggests spreading flyers to recruit people. Kangin says no, they've beaten the freshmen as planned. It's time for the next step. Cut to a group of men smoking outside. These are Shoku's crew, older, rougher, clearly not students anymore. They ask who the newcomers are. One of them calls Kangin and his group kids. Kangin responds calmly, says they probably look that way since Shoku was part of a legendary generation with his brother. Shoku's eyes narrow. He realizes who Kangin's brother is. Kangin points out that ever since Chung sidelined them, they've been hiding like old men. Shoku grabs Kangin by the throat, calls him arrogant. Kangin doesn't flinch, says he's just disappointed, feels like they've been fighting alone, that things have changed now. Meanwhile, Hang is talking to Chung. He insists they need to intervene in the arena, says letting them abuse the rules will destroy its foundation, brings up Kangin's older brother. Chung says the rules are the rules, even if they've been abused. Hang asks if he's just going to stand by and watch. Chung responds that even if he steps in and fixes things, the arena won't be the same. The damage is already done. Hang realizes he's right. This isn't something that can be solved with a single fight. Chung's phone rings. It's Gil Su, calling from the arcade. Chung reminds him that he said not to call until he scored some points. Asks if he gave up. Gil Su says that's exactly why he's calling. The camera pans to the punching machine, covered in blood. The score display reads 99,999. Gil Su tells Chung to teach him. He's ready for the next lesson. Flashback. We see Gil Su running to the arcade, thinking about Yongo, about Deal's broken arm, about everything. He tells himself he needs to hurry, get stronger, fast. He starts hitting the machine over and over, saying this is the only thing he can do. He has nothing else. Even with his weak punches, if he hits these machines tens of thousands of times, surely he'll be able to do it. Remembers Chung's words. Hit hard enough for the machine to register. Only then will it prove he can cause damage. Lacking weight and strength, he widens his stance, puts more power into the punch, allows for a full motion swing, connects. The machine makes a loud noise. 3 points. He keeps going. The count rises. 20, 134, 4,000. His fists start bleeding. The skin tears, but he doesn't stop. Higher and higher until finally 99,999. Back to the present. Chung smiles, says that was faster than he expected. Gil Su replies that he had no choice. He doesn't have time to waste. Chung says that's good. Now they can move on to the next stage, but warns him it will be much harder. He needs to be prepared. As he says this, Gil Su's head drops onto his chest. He passed out. Standing up, Chung smiles again, says rest is also part of training. Next night, the arena. Yongo looks around, asks if this is everyone, says not even half the usual people showed up, asks if everyone's scared. A voice answers, who's scared? A man steps forward. Second-year student council member Choi. He says he thinks he needs to educate the freshmen, mentions he's hated the tacky tattoo on Yongo's arm since he first saw it. That's reason enough to fight. Yongo looks tense for the first time. Hang says they can't just sit back anymore. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The arena door opens. A voice, "What's up with this atmosphere?" Everyone turns. It's Shoku. He says he heard the arena has been fun lately, came to visit. Hang is shocked, walks toward him, asks how he dares to show his face here. Shoku says he came because he's also a member of the school. Hang tells him to stop spouting nonsense. Reminds him he caused an incident before, but now shows up like nothing happened. Shoku says they can forget about the past. Kangen chimes in, asks why Hang is being so uptight, says there are fewer people here, so it's good to have new faces joining. Hang clearly doesn't agree. Kangen laughs at him, asks if he's scared. Cut to a construction site. Gil Su looks around the dark, gloomy area, says it feels like a ghost could pop out any second. Chung tells him he needs to find his way properly. Gil Su asks what kind of training this is supposed to be. Chung asks if he's ever heard of the old Six Gates School. He explains that the schools in the Chung area used to compete for the title of the strongest. The school that won with overwhelming victory was theirs. Six Gates, after they dominated the territory, the other schools fell back to their original areas. Su wonders what this has to do with him. Chung says where Gil Su is sitting right now is the territory of Jining Technical School. School fights don't happen anymore, but if members of another school invade their territory, it's treated as a clear provocation. Su is completely shocked. Chung slams the door hard, starts locking it from the outside. He says the door on the other side is open. Gil Su should try to get out on his own. There's no better experience than a real fight. Gil Su starts shouting, asking what the hell Chung is doing. And then he hears it, a motorcycle approaching. He gets worried. A man gets off the bike, asks who's making so much noise in his territory. Gil Su recognizes him immediately. It's Sanel, the brass knuckles guy from before. Sanel recognizes him too. Says he knew he heard that school name somewhere. Laughs. Says Gil Su must know the situation is different from last time. He's really happy to see him here. His crew gathers behind him. Sanel puts on his brass knuckles, same ones as before. Gil Su says nothing, just stands there. Sanel grabs the back of his head, asks if he's scared since he's just standing there like a statue. Then he notices Gil Su is mumbling something, tells him to speak up before he breaks his jaw. We start to hear what Gil Su is mumbling. Raise my fist to chin level, keep my feet shoulder width apart, take light steps. He throws a jab, connects directly to Sanel's face. He steps forward, still reciting the steps mentally, throws a straight punch. Sanel can only watch as it comes. This punch is heavier than anything Gil Su has ever thrown. It sounds different, hits different. Sanel's crew is shocked to see him spitting blood. Gil Su starts smiling. It works now. Back at the arena, things have gone completely sideways. Shoku is standing over Troy, the second-year student council member who stepped up to fight. Except fight isn't the right word. Troy is on the ground, begging to be let go. Shoku laughs. Says he didn't realize the arena was this much fun, that he didn't know the student council bastards were this weak, comments that Troy's mind seems damaged now. Hang steps forward, warns him not to overdo it, suggests Shoku should face someone on his level before he starts bragging. Shoku drops Troy to the ground, says they have a lot to settle. The few students still watching start leaving. The arena rules have been completely ignored. Even Shoku, who used to keep a low profile, showed up. Most students left to avoid becoming targets. This was exactly Kangen's plan when he brought Shoku. Kangen suggests that if they really want to fight, they should set up a match somewhere proper, not the arena. It's basically empty anyway. He argues there's no point protecting it anymore. Hang is furious, but Shoku interrupts, tells him to listen carefully, and make sure Chung knows too. Meanwhile, at Jining Technical School territory, Gil Su just landed a clean straight punch on Sanel. The guy is spitting blood. His crew is stunned. One of Sanel's friends charges at Gil Su, throws a punch directly at his face. Gil Su doesn't flinch, doesn't even blink. With a smile, he mocks the guy, says those weak punches don't hurt at all, then strikes him in the stomach and sends him flying. Another enemy charges forward with some tough words. Gil Su accepts the challenge and knocks him away with a single blow. They start wondering what the hell is going on, asking if this is really the same person from before. A woman steps in, calls Gil Su an idiot, asks if he realizes what he just did. Behind her, even more men gather. Su's confidence wavers. He realizes the number of enemies, concludes that facing them directly is impossible. He needs a plan. So what does our guy do? Jumps on Sanel's motorcycle. The woman reacts furiously, demands to know what he thinks he's doing. Gil Su realizes that if he can't fight them head on, he needs a tool. He grabs the handlebars, the engine roars, and then he struggles badly. He can barely sit properly. The bike wobbles. He's clearly never ridden a motorcycle in his life. The enemies start laughing, call the scene pathetic and embarrassing. But here's the thing, Gil Su lets go of the bike on purpose, crashes directly into the group, scatters them like bowling pins. He never intended to ride it, he just needed a distraction. Taking advantage of the chaos, he punches a strange-haired guy square in the face, knocks him aside. We learn this guy's name is Kung Suk. The others shout to capture Gil Su. He starts running. His thought process, if he can face them one-on-one, he might actually stand a chance. For a moment, he even misses the fight arena. At least there were rules. But then he realizes something. Even outside the arena, he still has a shot. He spots a long staircase, starts climbing. His enemies chase after him. When they think they've cornered him at the top, they see Gil Su standing there, daring them to come up. They laugh. Say he must have hit his head while running. With no other option, they charge. And Gil Su surprises them. He punches the first guy square in the face, knocks him down. A second charges to avenge his friend, also takes a heavy hit and falls. The enemies start falling over each other like bowling pins. Gil Su smiles. He figured it out. If he maintains the high ground, they lose momentum climbing the stairs, and if he knocks them down, they take out the ones behind them. He can face them one by one. He taunts them, tells them to stop stalling and fight, urges them forward so he can defeat them and leave. But before he can react, a bowl of ramen flies at him, hits him on the head. At the same time, a man grabs the railing, jumps, and kicks Gil Su directly in the face, sends him tumbling down the stairs into the crowd. The students cheer for their upperclassmen. The guy is pissed, says he was just trying to enjoy his ramen when some Six Gates loser showed up. Gil Su, dazed, mumbles that he didn't expect anyone on the upper floors. Determined, he charges at the newcomer. The guy looks slightly surprised, but doesn't hesitate, knees Gil Su in the face. Gil Su realizes instantly this guy is on a completely different level. The upperclassman declares he'll give them only 10 minutes to take Gil Su down and bring him over. The students attack from all sides. Gil Su struggles to block the kicks and punches raining down on him. The upperclassman complains about wasting his ramen, reduces the time to 5 minutes. Gil Su keeps fighting, taking hits, but also standing back up. His body trembles, but he refuses to fall. He realizes fighting here won't get him anywhere. He needs to escape. The upperclassman hears one of his men yelling, calling the freshman useless, saying it takes all of them to handle one failure. At that moment, Gil Su launches himself down the stairs like a human projectile. He catches the upperclassman off guard, grabs his head, and slams it with a brutal headbutt. The upperclassman screams in pain as they both tumble down the stairs. The others rush to help him. He struggles to his feet, pointing at Gil Su, ordering them to capture him immediately. Warns that if they fail, they're all screwed. Gil Su runs, starts laughing while he does it, celebrating his escape. He just needs to reach the back exit. He spots the rear gate, open, just like Chung said. But before he can reach it, the sound of a motorcycle. He turns around, confused. A man with green hair is approaching, dragging Sanel across the ground behind the bike, just dragging him like it's nothing. The stranger smiles, says he can't believe his men are losing to a weakling like Gil Su. Then, with a strange expression, he licks his lips, says he thinks Gil Su is cute, that he likes adorable things. Introduces himself as Heian Wang, the head of the school. Gil Su watches in horror. What kind of psychopath drags someone with a motorcycle? Wang notices the rest of his men arriving from behind Gil Su. He looks at them and warns if they fail again, they'll end up in the same state as Sanel. They beg for a second chance, but Wang just growls, says no one should touch his prey. Everyone goes quiet. Gil Su concludes this guy must be the boss. He notices Wang is shorter than him, less muscular than Chung. Maybe he has a chance. Without wasting time, he decides to attack first. Remembers Chung's advice that the 1-2 combination works against any opponent. He throws a jab. Wang dodges instantly, assumes a grappler's stance, calls Gil Su cute again for attacking first, then performs a lightning-fast double-leg takedown. But Gil Su isn't just knocked down, he's violently slammed into the ground. The impact is devastating. Dazed, about to lose consciousness, Wang catches him before he can pass out, smiles, says he can't let him fade so quickly. He still wants to have some fun. In the blink of an eye, Wang lifts him again, throws him backward in a suplex. Gil Su's head hits the ground, hard. He spits blood. He starts to think this is it. He's gonna die right here. The students watching burst into laughter, say Gil Su deserved it. But a boy with purple hair tells them to shut up. Says once Wang is done with Gil Su, it'll be their turn. Wang grabs Gil Su by the neck, asks if he's already passed out, demands that he keep resisting, and then Gil Su kicks him in the face. Still dazed, barely conscious, he mutters, "How can someone like you call others cute when you look like that?" The purple-haired student's eyes go wide. Wang freezes. Then his expression twists into pure rage. Demands to know why Gil Su called him cute. Student. The purple-haired student whispers to the others. When Wang was younger, he was mocked for his height. That word should never be said in front of him. Gil Su doesn't understand what he just triggered. He tries to prepare another attack, but before he can move, Wang grabs his body, murmurs that now Gil Su will fall for real, because he's about to enter his hell. In seconds, Gil Su finds himself trapped in a triangle choke. He can't move his arms, can't move his legs. His breathing becomes difficult. His vision starts fading. Wang grins, thanks Gil Su for becoming his new prey. The purple-haired student watches, comments that this move is called the Hell Triangle Choke. Anyone caught in it is completely defenseless. Wang strikes Gil Su's head repeatedly, demands that he say again that he's cute. Gil Su realizes this fight is on a completely different level than anything he's ever faced. For the first time, he genuinely feels like he could die. The spectators are stunned, because Gil Su is lifting Wang into the air. While trapped in the choke, while barely able to breathe, he's standing up, refusing to fall. With a determined look, he declares that he refuses to go down here. Wang spins in the air as Gil Su lifts him, but instead of panicking, he's smiling. Says Gil Su is truly fun. He quickly changes position, attempts a new choke, murmurs that he likes him, that from now on, Gil Su belongs to him. Gil Su gasps, struggling to breathe. His vision blurs. Wang mentions casually that the school record for this hold is 7 seconds. Says he wants to see how long Gil Su will last. Jules feels himself fading. In the back of his mind, one thought remains. He never wants to lose to someone like this. Not here, not to this psycho. But his muscles fail, his legs lose strength, his body finally gives out. Wang laughs, declares that now Gil Su is cute again. He starts dragging Gil Su away by the arm, says he's gonna take him somewhere to keep playing. The students who are watching breathe sighs of relief. Finally, it seems like Wang has lost interest in them. They whisper to each other this might be the perfect chance to escape. And then Gil Su opens his eyes. He explains something. This is called the fainting game. Before he transferred, this was something his bullies played with him constantly. They would choke him out and bet on how long he could resist. Found entertainment in his suffering. Back then, the only way to survive was a trick he learned, pressing his pinky against a carotid artery, a resistance method that changed every week depending on how they held him. 3 years of torture taught him how to fake passing out. Now, with his vision blurred and strength fading, Gil Su feels around the ground. His fingers close around a stone. Wang hears a noise, turns around, too late. The stone hits his face, shatters on impact. Wang spits blood, stumbles backward. Gil Su pushes himself up, runs for the gate. He's so close, just needs to get through. But Wang doesn't stay down. With a fierce look, he asks where Gil Su thinks he's going. Gil Su turns around, sees Wang moving toward him like nothing happened. In disbelief, he thinks this guy took a rock to the face and he's still coming. The gate is right there. He can't fail now. A voice interrupts. Enough. Kung, one of Wang's men, finally takes action, declares that this has gone far enough. But it's not Kung that makes Wang freeze. It's the presence behind Gil Su. Wang feels a chill run down his spine, an intimidating aura that makes even him hesitate. Chung stands there, expression serious, a hint of irritation in his eyes. He warns clearly, any further attack will be treated as an assault against 6 gates. Wang looks down, realizes Gil Su has already crossed the boundary. He's outside school grounds now. Technically, this isn't Jinning territory anymore. Backing off. But instead of backing off, Wang starts bouncing on his feet, getting excited. Charges directly at Chung, declares that the era of 6 gates is over, that now it's the time of Jinning. Chung doesn't respond with words. The only answer he gives is his fist. The impact sounds like a gunshot. Wang's body flies backward. His teeth scatter in the air. Gil Su is completely shocked. He's never seen anything like this. One punch, that's all it took. Chung watches Wang crash into the ground, says with disdain that the students from Jinning Technical haven't evolved at all. They only behave after being knocked out. He turns to Gil Su, says he's already passed the 2nd stage, now only the last one remains. Orders him to come to the rooftop tomorrow. The next morning, actually, scratch that. Gil Su doesn't go to the rooftop. Flashback to earlier, Yongo is in the hallway, provoking Deal about his broken arm, asking if it's really broken or if he's just pretending out of fear. He pokes Deal, demands that he say something, reminds him how much he boasted in the cafeteria. then pushes him down, laughs, says Deal finally knows his place. He steps on the cast, asks mockingly if the arm is really broken, claims it was just an accident. Deal, from the ground, asks calmly, "You really intend to break the school's rules?" Yango grabs him by the collar, laughing, says no one cares about the rules anymore. Almost no one goes to the arena. And then Gil Su rushes in, blocks Yango's punch before it can land. Yango is surprised, sees Gil Su standing there, calls him Vomit Boy, grabs his bandaged arm, and asks if he's been training alone. Assumes he's trying to learn to defend himself. Gil Su pushes his hand away, hard, leaving Yango surprised. Then he makes the challenge official. Another fight in the arena. Yango laughs, says he has no idea where all this courage came from, but it seems fun. Steps back, states it will be interesting, that he'll show Gil Su how the arena has been lately, tells him to look forward to it. Meanwhile, on the rooftop, Chung waits. He doesn't understand why he was left waiting. The door bursts open. Hang enters, frantic, asks where Chung was the previous night, asks if he has any idea what happened in the arena. Obviously, Chung doesn't know. Hang explains everything. Shoku showed up, warned him that if things continue, everything will only get worse. He insists that Chung must act quickly. Says the arena is about to collapse. Chung responds calmly. Says if the arena crumbles over something so trivial, then it deserves that fate. Hang is stunned. Chung explains his philosophy. The reason they were able to enjoy the arena wasn't because he kept it under control with strict rules. It was the opposite. He compares it to a polluted river that purifies itself naturally. If the arena only changes because of the power of a single person, then the situation will be different. But if it can't survive without him forcing it to, then it never had real purpose to begin with. Back in the classroom, Tengen asks Yango if Gil Su really challenged him to a fight. Yango confirms, laughing, says Gil Su suddenly went crazy and started showing off. Mentions that Gil Su seems to be training, his arms were bandaged. But assures Kangen he'll finish him off in the arena. Kangen thinks about it, says at this point, getting involved with a loser like Gil Su brings no benefit. The focus should be taking down Chung. Yango laughs, says there's nothing to worry about, claims he'll break one of Gil Su's arms so he can never get in their way again. He emphasizes, winning is expected. The real question is what others will think. 2. After all the effort they put into consolidating power in the arena, he needs to win flawlessly, must never lower his guard. Then something flickers across his face. He remembers the Vomit Kid, the one who kept getting up, the one who headbutted Kangen and made his nose bleed. If it's not something else, that kid is annoyingly persistent. Outside the school, Rock finds Gil Su, asks what he was thinking challenging Yango, points out that even Deal couldn't beat him. How does Gil Su plan to do it? Gil Su realizes he acted on impulse, wonders if it's right to disobey Chung like this, especially since it's the last training session. Deal appears, tells Gil Su to cancel immediately. Even with Chung's training, it's still dangerous. He explains that Gil Su just transferred, so he doesn't know, but Yango is the type who does dirty things. Uses runaway boys outside the school for who knows what. The result is as clear as day. Gil Su should stay away. When Deal recovers, he'll handle it himself. Gil Su says no. Deal got hurt fighting to protect him. What happened in the hallway this morning, Yango stepping on Deal's broken arm, is something Gil Su is already used to seeing. Being ignored, turned into a spectacle, like watching a clown show at the circus. He doesn't want to become like the people who just watch. His first opponent has to be Yango. He wants to finish the fight he couldn't complete in the cafeteria. No matter how dangerous Yango is, he truly believes he's ready this time. Night falls. The arena is buzzing. Students are talking about Gil Su's special training. Word got around. And now, this is the most packed the arena has been in days. Rock looks around in amazement. Says it's the first time since they enrolled that he's seen so many people here. Deal explains why. Gil Su's impact in the last 2 fights was huge. The real fun of the arena isn't about being strong or weak, it's about whether you're willing to face off. And Gil Su, he showed them something. Twice. Over by the ropes, Yango is getting impatient. Says Gil Su is late. His friends start laughing. Say maybe he's too scared to show up. Yango grins. Says it's better if he runs away. That way they can finish him off outside the school. Chung watches from above, silent. Then the door opens. Everyone turns. And there's Gil Su with a shaved head. P walks in and says that only now does school finally feel worth it. The arena goes silent for about 2 seconds. Then everyone bursts out laughing, calling him crazy, calling him cringe, asking if he really thinks cutting his hair will change anything. Chung smiles slightly. Gil Su doesn't react to the mockery, just tells them to laugh as much as they want, because they won't be able to laugh for long. Yango wipes tears from his eyes, says Deal was confident at first too. Look how he ended up. Gil Su stares at him, says he's gonna beat him up. Hang raises his hand, tells them to prepare. They face off. Gil Su raises his fists, says the old version of himself is gone, and he plans to win this even if he has to risk his life. Hang announces the start. Gil Su rushes in immediately, throws a jab. Yongo blocks it, counters with a punch directly to Gil Su's face, says, "Courage isn't the only thing that matters here." He pushes Gil Su across the ring with a combination, spinning elbow, left punch, mocks his training, calls him a punching bag. Gil Su prevents himself from being pushed back completely, but Yongo is faster, dodges with his hands behind his back, asks what Gil Su is doing, laughs, tells him to actually try to hit him, knocks him down, says his punches are too slow. The spectators start mocking Gil Su, say he shouldn't just stand there taking hits, ask where all that initial courage went. Hang comments that it's going exactly as expected. At this pace, Yongo's group will only get more arrogant. Chung tells him to watch closely, to see who's actually more focused on the fight. Cause here's the thing, while Yongo is showboating, Gil Su's eyes haven't left him once, not for a single second. Yongo laughs, says it's nice to have a human punching bag, then notices something strange. Gil Su isn't even lifting his guard anymore. Gil Su says calmly that his fight has just started. His eyes are still full of confidence. Flashback. On the rooftop, Gil Su tells Chung the truth. He wasn't going to make it to the final training session. He disobeyed the order not to enter the arena, impulsively challenged Yongo. He just couldn't hold back anymore. Chung says they need to adjust the training plan. Den runs directly at him, says an intensive course is the best way to substitute for real training. Fighting him is all Gil Su needs. Gil Su gets hit in the stomach, sent flying back, wonders if Chung has gone crazy. Chung asks if he plans to just stand there and take a beating in the arena, tells him to react. Gil Su throws punches, but Chung dodges everything, says his punches are too slow, too weak, no one in that school will be beaten by those. Gil Su says he knows he won't get stronger with just a few sessions, but he still has to win. He throws a right punch. This one sounds different, heavier, like the ones he threw at Jinning. Chung doesn't block it, just takes it, then tells Gil Su to lower his guard first. Back in the arena, Gil Su lets out a primal scream. He charges at Yongo with a series of punches. Wild, aggressive, completely different from before. Rock and Deal are shocked. Deal asks if Gil Su gave up, says you shouldn't just swing your fists around recklessly. What was the point of training with Chung if he's going to do this? Yongo laughs, asks if Gil Su thinks those random punches will actually land, starts countering, dodging, but Gil Su slips one punch. It grazes Yongo's cheek, and then he grabs Yongo, clinches him, holds on tight. Yongo is confused, tries to push him away, asks what the hell he thinks he's doing. The students groan, say this fight is boring, that Gil Su looks pathetic. If he's going to lose, he should at least do it with style. This is nothing but a one-sided beating. Yongo grabs Gil Su's head, starts kneeing his face, over and over, tells him to stop fighting and just fall already. Gil Su, blood running down his face, whispers, "This is good. Everything is going according to plan." Flashback continues. On the rooftop, Chung is teaching Gil Su something crucial. He explains, when you grab the neck or body, lower your guard and restrict your opponent's movements. That's how your real fight starts. He demonstrates, hits Gil Su directly in the side while holding him, says it's hard to hit a moving target, but if your opponent stands still, much easier. He keeps Gil Su there, lands quick punches, one after another. Gil Su responds with his own punches, natural response. Chung says that's exactly right. When that happens, just hold on, the same way he's been enduring this training. And when the opportunity arises, land an even stronger blow, directly to the stomach. The impact sends Gil Su sliding off the side of the roof. Gil Su realizes he can't maintain his guard in that position, but he gets distracted for a moment. Chung instantly closes the distance, coming in with another monstrous right. The speed is insane. Gil Su doesn't even have time to think about dodging, so he just stands there, frozen. But Chung stops right before hitting his face. Gil Su is shocked. Chung tells him, don't try a direct hit right away. First, throw your opponent into confusion. Make it so they can't predict where your punches will land. Back in the arena, Gil Su tightens his fist, hits Yongo directly in the side. Yongo doesn't let it stop him, keeps hitting, but now Gil Su is retaliating too. They're exchanging punches, blow for blow. Yongo makes a pained face, mutters that, this is really annoying. The attacks are actually having an effect. While Yongo's lost in thought, Gil Su keeps targeting the stomach, over and over. The students start noticing, say this must hurt, call it dirty boxing. Deal realizes what's happening. Gil Su is closing in and attacking the body because he couldn't hit Yongo's face. He found a different path. Yongo notices too, starts to retreat, creates distance. Gil Su sees it. With Yongo's guard lowered, there's an opening now. He knows exactly where to strike. He opens his stance, goes for a jab. Yongo dodges, says the tactic was too obvious. Chung watches with anticipation. Flashback. Jung told him that training ends here. Fights are full of unexpected variables. Gil Su can't win just with what he's learned. He needs to keep attacking his opponent relentlessly. Back in the arena, Gil Su wanted Yongo to dodge. The moment Yongo moves, Gil Su grabs the back of his head. Yongo's eyes go wide. He realizes he fell right into a trap. Gil Su asks, "Did you predict this too?" and lands a heavy right, sends Yongo flying backward. The entire arena goes silent, then erupts. The crowd is shocked. They start cheering for Gil Su, realizing the tide has turned. Yongo picks himself up, realizes this fight is going to be much harder than he thought. Gil Su warns him, he's just getting started. Better be prepared. The crowd starts chanting, "Vomit boy, vomit boy." Not mockingly this time, they're actually believing in him now. Yongo wipes the blood from his face, says it was just luck, that Gil Su only swung uncontrollably and got lucky. He charges again. Gil Su lands a jab directly to his face, immediately follows up with a right punch to the head. As Yongo recovers, Gil Su advances, lands another combination. Hang smiles, says Gil Su is better than he expected. Turning the fight around like that, Chung explains. In a fight at this level, endurance and mental strength are the most important things. Unexpected attacks can break your opponent's concentration. Now the dynamic of the fight is in Gil Su's favor. Yongo wipes blood away, stares at Gil Su. Deal notices something. Yongo is getting nervous, especially after noticing Kangen watching the fight visibly dissatisfied. Yongo remembers what Kangen told him. He needed to win without fail. No excuses. He grits his teeth, then lifts his leg, adopts the Muay Thai stance, says he's tired of this pathetic fight. Gil Su realizes he can't hesitate anymore. He needs to finish this now. But at the wrong moment, Yongo's kick connects directly to the face. Gil Su flies backward, grits his teeth to keep from passing out, wonders what the hell that kick was. A second kick hits his stomach. Every impact sounds like he's being hit by metal. Yongo keeps attacking, kicks Gil Su into the ropes, tells him a loser should know his place and stay down, calls him a useless piece of trash. Gil Su realizes each blow feels like a cannon. There's no opening to counterattack. He wonders what to do. He remembers his conversation with Deal before the fight. Deal told him to be careful, said Yongo seemed to be hiding something, that his kicks were far from normal. If he tries to kick, Gil Su should be prepared. Now Gil Su understands why Deal was so alert. It feels like being hit by an iron bar instead of a leg. Yongo lifts his leg again, says he loves seeing that scared look. It suits Gil Su perfectly. Now he needs to beg for his life like the dog he is. Gil Su tries to dodge. Too slow. Gets hit directly in the face. Thrown back and forth like a ragdoll. Street Fighter combo style. Yongo is enjoying every second. Gil Su thinks to himself, seeing Yongo relish his pain reminds him of the bastards who tormented him for 3 years. There's no difference between them and Yongo. They're all the same. Bastards. He refuses to fall like this. And then Gil Su does something nobody expected. He sticks out his rear end. Yongo's kick comes in aimed at his cheek and hits his butt instead. Gil screams from the sidelines. "What the hell are you doing?" Gil Su says Yongo can hit him as much as he wants, cause he knows where this is going. Yongo calls him ridiculous, asks if he thinks this will stop anything, goes for another kick, hits the butt again, and again, and again. Every single kick connects with Gil Su's rear end instead of his head or body. The spectators start laughing uncontrollably, asking what the name of this move is, wondering if they're really seeing this. Deal stops panicking and actually thinks about it, then laughs, praises Gil Su's cleverness, says with his current position, his butt might actually be his best defense. And here's the thing, it's working. Yongo is starting to tire. Each kick takes energy, and instead of doing damage, they're just bouncing off Gil Su's ass. Frustrated, Yongo says if Gil Su's going to try this, he should try defending with his head instead. He goes for a kick. Gil Su ducks, says the kick was slow enough to see clearly. That's good. Deal notices the pace has slowed dramatically. He remembers his own fight. Yongo was reluctant to use kicks too often. The more powerful the kick, the greater the risk. With every second the fight continues, Yongo gets more exhausted. Gil Su no longer needs his butt no jutsu defense. He's just dodging the kicks now. He narrowly avoids one, and manages to see something a glint, something shiny. but his carelessness costs him. A spinning punch connects directly with his head. Yango takes advantage of the opening, says Gil Su was certainly persistent, but it's over now. He goes for a soccer-style kick, straight to Gil Su's head. The impact is audible. Yango stands over him, says no matter how resilient Gil Su is, he can't withstand this. He must understand now what happens when he tries to act tough. But Gil Su calmly calls Yango's name. Yango freezes. Gil Su says his kick has become slow and weak. We see what Gil Su noticed. Yango is starting to fall. His legs are giving out. Gil Su pushes him straight to the ground. Yango hits the floor, starts sweating nervously, feels that something is very wrong. Gil Su explains he noticed the strangeness of being hit by metal. The kicks slowed down over time, and something shiny kept appearing during one of them. He grabs Yango's pants. Yango's eyes go wide. He's screaming internally, can't react, can't stop what's about to happen. Gil Su pulls, rips the pants, and reveals metal shin guards strapped to Yango's legs. The entire arena goes silent, then erupts into chaos. Gil Su says now he understands. That's why Yango got tired so quickly. He was using heavy metal on his legs the entire time. His kicks weren't naturally powerful, they were weighted. Cheating. The spectators begin mocking Yango immediately, calling him a cheater, saying he was only pretending to be strong, that his whole reputation was built on metal shin guards. Hang comments that Yango's kicks were really strange. Asks Chung what they should do about it. Chung just laughs, says they should wait, this will be over soon, cause Gil Su is gonna finish the job. Gil Su is on top of Yango now, hitting him hard in the face, over and over. Yango is speechless, asks how Gil Su isn't exhausted yet, and Gil Su says something that changes everything. He says he recognizes that expression, that look of dread on Yango's face, the look that means he isn't even considering fighting back anymore. He's just waiting for it to end. It's the same expression Gil Su used to have. Every time he was intimidated, every time the bullies cornered him, every time he gave up before the fight even started. But that old version of Gil Su, he's gone now. And he's finally standing up for himself. Gil Su screams, tears fill his eyes. 3 years of pain, 3 years of running, 3 years of being told he was worthless. All of it comes out in one punch. Devastating right hand, directly to Yango's face. His head slams into the arena floor. We see Yango's eyes start to fade, already on the brink of losing consciousness. The referee immediately steps in, stops the fight, declares Gil Su the winner. His hand is raised, and for a moment, Gil Su just stands there, then it hits him. He won. He actually won. He finally knocked out one of the bullies with his own fists. The crowd cheers, not mockingly, not sarcastically. They're cheering for him. On the ground, Yango lies there, mutters that it can't be, wonders how he lost. He looks over and sees Shoku watching, says it's not over yet, that he'll take his revenge. Shoku stares at him for a moment, then calls him useless and walks away. The crowd turns on Yango immediately. Stones start flying. Students are calling him a cheater, saying he should die, treating him like absolute trash, challenging him to fight the next day so they can beat him properly. This is what happens when you get exposed. No mercy, no sympathy. But then something unexpected happens. Gil Su approaches Yango and extends his hand. Yango looks up, confused, doesn't understand. Gil Su says he should get up if he's regained his senses. He admits he really wanted to beat Yango because he cheated, because he used metal to hurt people and pretended it was skill. But he can't do anything about it now. There are rules. Next time, they should just fight fairly. Yango stares at the hand, speechless. Hang laughs from the sidelines. Says Gil Su is more interesting than he expected. Can't believe he's actually trying to shake Yango's hand after everything. Chung watches, says that now Gil Su finally looks like a student from Six Gates High School. He's more capable than he imagined. And then a voice cuts through the moment. He asks what the hell is going on? Why little fish are fighting in the arena? He walks up to Yango, grabs him, calls him a bastard who can't even be a loser properly, says he's not welcome at this school. Gil Su doesn't even know who this guy is, but Chung does. He steps into the ring, asks Shoku what he thinks he's doing. Shoku turns to face him, grins, says it's been a long time, calls Chung a traitor. He starts walking toward him, says seeing such a stupid fight pissed him off, can't stand watching his school get destroyed like this. He'd rather finish off the fight arena entirely, just crush the whole school. Chung laughs, says he thought Shoku had given up since he's been so quiet. But this is interesting. He tells Shoku he's more than welcome to fight, that he's ready to beat him right now, to show everyone how the arena really works. They begin positioning themselves. The students watching can't believe it, say they never thought they'd witness this before graduation. Gil Su turns to Deal, asks if Chung and Shoku were friends. Deal is surprised Gil Su doesn't know, but then remembers he's a transfer student. He explains, before the fight arena was created, Chung and Shoku used to compete for the title of the strongest in the school. Gil Su's eyes go wide, realizes Shoku is on Chung's level, an equivalent threat. Shoku stomps his foot on the ground, starts stretching, asks how long it's been since they fought like this. Chung looks disgusted to hear Shoku mention the past, asks if he's already looking forward to being defeated again. Shoku calls him arrogant, then charges, says Chung went through all that effort to reach the top just to do something like this. The impact of his first attack creates a shockwave. Students scream, start running, wonder what the hell that strength is, say the ring might actually collapse. But Chung dodged, has calmly, where are you aiming? Shoku smiles, goes for an overhead left strike. Chung dodges, a kick follows, also dodged. This continues several more times, Shoku attacking wildly, Chung weaving through everything. Gil Su watches, in amazement, wonders how Shoku can move so fast with such a large body. Says Chung is incredible for dodging all of this. Then asks Deal a serious question. What happens if Chung loses? Deal thinks for a second, then says the truth. If Chung loses, the arena won't exist anymore. The school will go back to what it was before, complete chaos, because Shoku is one of Han's subordinates. Gil Su asks who Han is. Deal doesn't answer. Back to the fight, Shoku is getting frustrated. Says Chung is just running around like a rat, tells him to forget his past victory. He assumes a charging stance, says he's a completely different person now, then launches forward with a palm strike. Chung dodges, but not completely. The attack grazes his face, cuts his cheek. Shoku starts laughing, says he finally touched him. His wave of attacks continues, pushing Chung back across the ring, landing hits, drawing blood. He says Chung is acting cool, but clearly lost his skills, that if he'd known Chung was this weak, he would have defeated him earlier. One punch sends Chung flying. Gil Su says this is crazy, asks how Chung can possibly win this. Deal says from what he's heard, Shoku has always been physically stronger than Chung, but Chung always had him beat in technique. Looking at them now, Shoku is overwhelming him. Maybe he went through some special training. We see Shoku thinking to himself, his body feels completely different. He's been given something that's pushing his body to the absolute limit. He raises his leg for an axe kick, says that now Chung doesn't surpass him in anything, tells him to die. Chung stares at him, and then we hear the impact. Twice, it's not what anyone expected. Chung landed a direct hit on Shoku's face. The punch sounds like a gunshot. Shoku's massive body goes flying backward. He crashes into the ropes. The students are shocked, ask what Shoku thinks has changed. Chung says this is just a waste of time. He's ready to finish it now. He gets directly in Shoku's face, starts treating him like a punching bag. Each punch hits Shoku directly in the stomach. He starts spitting blood, wondering what the hell is happening. Why is Chung's power so different now? He realizes it. Chung was holding back. This entire time, Chung prepares his final attack, a monstrous right punch, aimed directly at Shoku's stomach. Chung's fist connects with Shoku's stomach. The impact sounds like a gunshot. If you enjoyed the story so far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to YumeRecap, and stay tuned for the next video.